Okay. Oh, my game capture is quiet. Hold on. Let me make sure all the audio is correct. So I'm starting in the character creation thingy because I wanted to show off specifically that I'm starting as the thief class, so I can show off this ring, which is a new ring in the mod. And I'll get a little bit more into all the changes that I made and why as we get into this. Let me actually finish creating the character real quick with the good body type, of course. Let me try to find something that isn't horrific while not spending a lot of time actually making a face. Okay, hello Finn, hello Lucky Dragon, hello Manu.
In the
Um,
age of ancient.
didn't even know I was streaming today. I said it a couple times in my Discord at least. Hello Arachnid. Oh, true, I didn't pick very large. But see, the problem with that is large is closer to my real life body type, so. Hello Seal, welcome. Okay, so the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun, is it not working? Did it break? No, it was working just fine. I know, what? That must have been something with one of the files that didn't get copied over correctly. Oh, it's the script, I bet. Okay, well, the ring is supposed to function like the Lloyd's sword ring from Dark Souls 3, where it boosts your attack when your health is full, but it's like actually useful. In the mod, it would boost your attack by about 20%, but for some reason here that's not working, and I'm pretty sure it's because I made an error in the scripting, because it was working just fine last time I tested it, and I haven't updated the mod since. I think it's because I copied over some files incorrectly. You know, I'm glad you used doc because YouTube does not understand that word and didn't try to censor it. I also started as the thief because I wanted the bandit's knife, because a few more things are a little bit weak to bleed that I wanted to show off, and the bandit's knife is probably the best way to do that. No, the red tear stone ring is 50% in Dark Souls 1. It is 20% in Dark Souls 3, I think. But it's 20%. It also activates at 20% health. So it is significantly less than the red tear stone ring. There's also a... Well, I'll get there, actually. Yeah, the red tear stone ring is extremely busted in Dark Souls 1. Do expect bugs, because this is a work in progress mod. It is not 1.0 yet. There are some changes I still need to make, some bouncing changes, and obviously some bug fixes I still need to do. I might try to do some of that live because I do want to show off the ring. It's not 50% extra damage. It's 50% extra motion value multiplication. So you're actually getting even more than 50% a lot of the time, because of how specifically damage calculations work with specific attacks. So like when you're two-handing, you know, you get that 1.2 times motion value multiplier, and so you're getting like 1.7, 1.8 times with the red tear stone ring active. The Ghost Blade is super rare in vanilla. Wink wink. Yeah, it's not multiplicative with the base damage. So like Power Within is a flat 40% damage increase, right? Or 40% AR increase. It's not 40% damage because damage or defense calculations. But RTSR is a 50% motion value multiplier. So it's some weird stuff going on in there. Let me actually open up the program that I use for this scripting and make sure that everything is okay. Because I feel like the only reason this wouldn't be working is if I copied over the wrong file. And I'm not sure how that could have happened. One moment. Oh, I must have copied the wrong one, because somebody commented on the mod page that it wasn't working. Am I gonna have to do scripting on stream right now because I didn't back this up? Is it this one? Oh, it must be. Okay, so I might be a little bit silly. Um, one moment. I will. I don't know how I'm gonna like stream this. I can actually, what I could do is just switch to a display capture and make sure it's capturing the correct display, and then do this. So this is a scripting program for Dark Souls. Dark Souls Remastered, or well, for the Dark Souls series. They're there. Everything seems correct. The lines of code that I added were right here. That looks fine, but queer people are very cool. Secret magic powers. I think we could consider modding secret magic powers more than using DSR gadget. Oh, the window is a little bit incorrectly sized. That's better. Bug fixing live on stream. This isn't what I wanted to do, but let's see. It should be in here. There are actually spoilers in here. Ring of the Goddess of the Sun. So this should actually point to a dummy. Why isn't that working? I'll figure it out after stream. It's fine. Point is, it's Lloyd's Sword Ring, but better. And there's actually synergy with it, with another ring. That also exists in this mod. You're just gonna have to take my word for it that it works. There are multiple other rings that I would be using over it anyway, just because I want to show them off. Progesterone stream. I wish I had progesterone right now. Wolf spider stream? What does that even mean? Yeah, learning to mod Dark Souls, it's not difficult or complicated, but there's a lot to it, so it can be a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, we're over 10K now, which is incredibly exciting. And, you know, the mod release can function as a 10K special for those who won't be participating in the drunk stream. You interview a big wolf spider? That'd be pretty cool if you could somehow get a wolf spider to respond to you. Modding might get hard because you misspell your own name. I get that, and I agree. It is hard. I had to ruin sentinels? Ruin sentinel. That's the... Oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage. That's the 3 of them, right? Those are one of my favorite bosses in Dark Souls 2. True. One of the best bosses in the series, for sure. I would say S-rank boss. So the Ghost Blade is the primary weapon for this stream. Because... I feel like damage is higher. And I don't know why it feels like that, because I'm pretty sure I didn't change any damage values or defense values for the player. So this weapon in vanilla has E-scaling and strength and has pretty low base damage. It's good for the very, very early game because it is a special weapon. So you're getting like, you know, 200 whatever AR at a +5, which is super easy to get for Twinkling Titanite weapons super early. And then after that, it falls off really hard and is really bad. But here, I gave it DC scaling. So by the end of the game, you know, we're probably going to be at least doubling our damage, getting around 300 or so AR. And it's buffable. So this is probably the best dagger now. I might have buffed it a little bit too much, but if anything, I think that's funny. Making one of, if not the worst weapon in the game, into the best. I wonder if I could get the Jagged Ghost Blade. That'd be cool to show off instead of the Bandit's Knife. You have the Rapier, the S-Stock moveset, and make it not terrible. I did try to make the Rapier not terrible by proxy of making it a early game S-Stock. Or no, by making it like an early game, like worse thrusting weapon because of how, or one of the places you can get it, which I will show off when I get there. I kind of want to kill these two, just to have a chance at the Jagged Ghost Blade. That did so much damage. Manu. I hope you're having fun. It's hard to get, so it should be good. It's not hard to get. It's actually guaranteed in this mod. Thank you for being here while you could, Lily. I hope your data gets better over time. Yeah, Vin, that's not uncommon. You should know that. I wish I had the skill to be able to mod that in Eth. I do want to go through this way so that I can get the drop that would normally be the red tearstone ring. Make it bad again. I mean, the idea, right, is that it's good for early game, so it should be easy to get for early game. Because otherwise it's like nearly impossible to get early game and there's no reason to use it ever. Admittedly, most weapons are... Infusible weapons are probably going to be better than non-infusible weapons as a rule. So I buffed a lot of non-infusible weapons quite a bit. Obviously including the Ghost Blade. Ah. Lily, thank you so much. Now you have to pay to win to get to the #1 spot. Thank you, Lily. Hello, Krista. You will be lurking. Good to know. Hope you enjoy your time lurking. Anyway, yeah, so I did buff non-infusible weapons across the board. I also buffed infusions across the board. So like a crystal weapon is going to be way, way more physical damage. Krista, thank you so much. Well, now Krista is the undisputed. Indisputed? Krista is #1. Thank you. Aren't the U infusion reset weapon level? No. A fire +0 is equivalent to a physical +5, or a standard +5 rather, and then lightning +0 is equivalent to a standard +10 or +11, whatever. So the damage does reflect that in vanilla. Oh my goodness. Okay, whatever. But also, like... Whoa, no, please. Ow. I tied to the lightning. Oh, that's another thing, F. I added a ton more drops for different kinds of Titanite. So there are way, way more sources of green Titanite. All the sources of Titanite shards and large shards are much, much more likely to give you shards. There are a lot more static shards, a lot more static green shards, a lot more static large shards. A lot more... Jesus, hold on. A lot more static chunks. There are a lot more slabs. There are a lot more static red, white, and blue chunks. And slabs. So the idea, right, is that you're going to have enough upgrade materials if you like properly explore, especially later in the game, to be able to get a weapon of each upgrade path leveled up, as well as a weapon of each damage type, right? Each physical damage type. So there are slashing weapons, there are standard weapons, there are thrusting weapons, there are strike weapons. And the idea is that you have enough upgrade materials to get all of them leveled up pretty easily. Oh. Hello, Win. Welcome. Good to know that, you know. Well, you still can farm slugs. I don't know, slugs have a pretty high drop chance in base, but I did increase their drop chance. I gave crag spiders chance to drop green titanite, as well as the basilisks can drop green titanite. There's also the sorry, I'm saying a lot. There's a lot to go through. The rats also have a chance to drop titanite, and it's a pretty decent chance as well. So if you're going through the depths and killing the rats, you're probably going to get at least a few shards The slimes are more likely to drop large shards and green titanite as well. There's also the giant rat. That's 4,000 souls. I don't care. What? Oh, it's Tuesday. Wait, would that be a Steam thing? Anyway, I'm playing modded. I should be offline anyway. The giant rat in the depths is guaranteed to drop a chunk now. There are a bunch of other static chunks and a bunch more chances for chunks, and the dark wraiths are a lot more likely to drop chunks. So, somewhere you can see what the mod adds. On the Nexus page, there is a link to a Google document that has every single change that I made, barring a few that I either forgot to put in there or want it to remain secret for now. I would recommend you don't look at that because it is very spoilery, and personally, I made the mod to give you another first playthrough experience where you're exploring everything again, you know, while also changing subsequent playthroughs. So while I did put that up there for people who prefer that, personally, I think it's a lot more fun to go in with a completely new experience, right? Or a completely blind experience. The Blowsblade, it's good, hopefully. So there is one of the new rings. The orange Tearstone ring is like the red Tearstone ring, but instead of giving you 50% extra motion value multiplier at 20% health, it gives you 20% extra motion value multiplier at 50% health. So I put in an item description. Oh god. It's a slightly lower risk, slightly lower reward kind of thing. In the item description, it is Impure Red Tearstone from Kareem. So I basically just copied the Red Tearstone ring description and put Impure there. I'll show off the location for the Red Tearstone ring because I think it's pretty clever where I put it. Not to like toot my own horn or whatever, but I think it's a cool spot that I kind of... Oh, I should put that in an Unremarkable and Odd Places. Okay, that's going on the list for the next Unremarkable and Odd Places video, but I don't know. It's a spot that I've seen very few people talk about. Technically, there is a Vagrant spawn there, but... When am I adding power stancing? When I learn how to animate in Dark Souls and also have about 1,600 hours of free time. There is actually a green Tearstone ring in this mod. It's the same as the orange Tearstone ring, but for the blue Tearstone ring, where it gives you the 20% extra defense at 50% instead of the 50% extra defense at 20%, which arguably would probably make it more useful, but you know. Yeah, oh, if you want to play this mod, I should have put the link in the description. If you join my Discord server, which there is a link to the description for, there's a link to the Nexus page. You can also search Dark Souls Goddess of the Sun Edition on Nexus, and it should come up, I would hope, for Dark Souls Remastered. The mod, it used to have really complicated installation instructions. I fixed it. It is now just a drag and drop install. So I added 5 rings, but I also changed quite a few rings to work very differently. There's a new drop here, which is actually the Rusted Iron Ring. The original Rusted Iron Ring location is the Gold Covetous Serpent Ring. And the original Gold Covetous Serpent Ring is now the Blue Tearstone Ring. So. Oh yeah, I mean, I can add it to the description, in theory. Unless maybe a mod could add it to this description, I'm not sure. But if you can pin messages, that would also work. If you can find the link for the mod, the Nexus page, and pin it in the chat. I don't know if that's a thing you can do on YouTube. Oh hey, thank you, Krista. Glad to see there's more than one dog in chat. Can't pin it? Okay, I will add it to the description in a moment. And hopefully it'll update in a reasonable amount of time. Twinkling Dark Knight. Obviously that's guaranteed. I don't remember if I changed the drop chance. I have gotten a Titanite chunk from this specific crystal lizard every single time I have played my mod and killed that one. I don't remember if I changed it. I might have. These guys rather, are a lot more likely to drop shards, as you saw. Be laid off due to reasons of nepotism. This is true. Also with the Thief set, there is the Silver Serpent Ring has been added to the loot pool with the Thief set, because I thought that that made sense, and I think getting the Silver Serpent Ring naturally earlier on in the playthrough made a lot of sense. It's not... And then in the place of the original Silver Serpent Ring location, I believe I put a white Titanite slab. So... there are quite a few changes with, like, random item drop positions and everything. But it's not like every single drop has been changed. There are quite a few new spots. What am I doing with your blade? I'm using it, because it's actually half decent now. Yeah, because in Dark Souls 1, the Silver Serpent Ring is in the Tomb of the Giants, which is endgame, effectively. Which makes it not super useful at that point. It's like half decent in the base game, but I don't know, it feels bad to use past the first 2 seconds of the game. No, the R2 is vanilla. Does it do slashing damage? I feel like I should know this. It does slash thrust. Wait, what's the thrust? Is it the one-handed R2? What the... Is it the jump attack, maybe? Yeah, that's probably thrusting damage. Okay. Rolling it... Yeah, the rolling attack is also a thrust. That makes sense, too. I always forget about rolling attacks. There's a magic rapier here, and this is what I mean. You get a free rapier early on with an infusion, so it's like a weapon that you're probably going to replace, or, you know, use it for things that happen to be fairly weak to magic and nothing else. There's an enchanted winged spear in a very secret spot in the basin that I would not be surprised if very few people found, because it's a not only found but actually got to it, because it is a very strange spot to get to. Hello, I am so sorry if I butcher this name, but thank you so much, Gian. That means a lot. Really appreciate that. I don't know, I like greatswords over ultra greatswords, but I don't know, I'm a polearm girly. You can still buy a normal rapier from Andre. Okay, so I have Twinkling Titanite. I should upgrade the weapon. I also want to get souls to level up. Oh, actually, I can show off something pretty interesting coming up here. Okay. I'm glad I said your name correctly. Luckily, I have a little bit of experience with somewhat diverse audiences. There are a lot of... a weirdly high amount of people from Brazil and the EU that aren't like primarily English-speaking countries. That I get exposed to a few non-American names at least. Manserpent Greysword is really, really good, yeah. I did not, in fact, farm for this weapon. It is a static drop in this mod, because it's insanely rare for how not good it is. I need... Okay, I get 4 from... I should have added more Twinkling Titanite. I think I did, but I don't remember where I put any of it. Is the Dragon Slayer... The Dragon Slayer Spear good? That's a good question. Eternally Craving Ornstein. Don't know how to be funny anymore. That would be funny. That is a good point. The Herb Greatsword they get from the Blighttown Swamp. The server or the other one? Aren't all three in Blighttown? The Murakumo is from Shiva. I'm forgetting one. There's the server, and then there's other one. Mano, you're spilling my secrets. People can't know this. Just all queer. Yeah, true. All the same blob. Extremely not diverse, because queer is one category. I have used all three Curved Greatswords in runs, so... Oh wait, no, it's the server, the Murakumo, and then the Gravelord Greatsword. I have used all three, at least. I've used all the Curved Greatswords, is my point. You were wondering, unrelated to the stream title. It's pretty good so far. I like some spears, and look, I'm coming around to it. But halberds are so great. Not queer at all, you're a cisgender woman? Okay. Me too. Okay, let me get a chance to equip this. So, charcoal pine resin is now on par with gold pine resin. So in the base game, charcoal pine resin added a whopping 80 AR, which would get you like 20 damage. As opposed to gold pine resin, which would give you 150 lightning AR, which would give you like 100 extra damage. Because damage calculations are weird. So if we... Let me get a chance to apply this. Also, the Ghost Blade is buffable, which is not vanilla. The Ghost Blade... Ah! Okay, playing a little too high risk for trying to explain mechanics. So the weapon has scaling, like actually good scaling now, and it is buffable. Almost all pure physical weapons are now buffable, including ones that weren't before, like the Ghost Blade, the Jagged Ghost Blade is as well. What else wasn't? I don't remember. There are also a lot of magic ones that would really benefit from synergy with buffs. So like the Moonlight Greatsword and Astora Straightsword are also now buffable. So if you've ever wanted to do a spell sword build with the Astora Straightsword or Moonlight Greatsword, now is your chance. Not all unbuffable weapons, because that would make some of them obscenely overpowered. But like the Dragon Greatsword is buffable, among other things. Was it already? I don't remember. Professional playing their own mod, yeah. I appreciated the disconnected from the server pun, but it didn't click in my brain. Unfortunately, yes, now I am disconnected. I don't know if two-handing is worth it. Okay. That's a lot of damage. Now we get Orange Tearstone Ring buff too. Ooh, greed. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, everything's fine. There we go. Oops. If you have a problem with the stagger on the halberds, don't miss, and it's not an issue. Also, I would argue that halberds are significantly worse in Dark Souls 2 than they are in Dark Souls 1, because you have to hit with the sweet spot. Oh yeah, the second one is at full health because you have a lot of early game buffs. There are a lot of ways to get really, really good damage right now. And if I hadn't buffed the second Gargoyle's health, the fight felt insanely easy with a lot of the things that you can do now. So that is why the second Gargoyle's health is at full. Yes, Orange Tearstone and Red Tearstone do in fact stack. and they are kind of insane. When you do that, you get the 1.5 times on top of the 1.2 times, and they stack multiplicatively on top of the 1.2 times from two-handing. So you're getting like, let me think, 1.2 times 1.2. It's hard. 1 point. What is 20% of 120? That 20? No, 20, 25. So you're getting 1.45 times 1.5 or whatever, and then that would be, you're getting like over 2 times damage. While two-handing with the orange and red tearstone rings equipped. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a lot. This is unfortunate. This is really bad to have happen with a short weapon. Never mind. Everything's fine. Just gotta use your moveset to the fullest. I'm also bad with numbers, don't worry. And I made the mod, so... Yeah, you get a lot of damage. There are a lot of ways to get a lot of damage in this mod, if you know what you're doing, and I think that's really fun. And that makes literally everything viable, and a lot of things very overpowered. I don't think I changed any drop chances for things like the Channeler's Trident. I could. I think it'd be cool to make the Channeler's Trident affect the player, but I'm not sure how I would do that. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, I would really appreciate a like for algorithm purposes, on top of just like knowing what people like to see. So if you're enjoying the stream and want more people to see the stream or whatever, I would really, really appreciate a like. Don't worry, you're not obligated to do math. I'm also really bad at math. I'm not even a dog. I'm a fox, so. No, they made cis puppy girls. They do. It's weird. Okay, trying to think what the best way... I guess the easiest way to get more Twinkling Titanite would be to do the trades. And there's also the Great Hollow, which I don't want to go into. First of all, what's this? Right, it's better dexterity scaling, but I get the 1.5 times from strength. I think it makes sense to get strength to 20 and then dexterity to 20. With 40-40, you over double your AR. Oh, excuse me. On the scaling, so very, very good damage on the Gust Blade compared to what you get in vanilla with its E scaling and strength. And it's like 100-something base damage. I don't know if it's a good idea to grind for moss. How many kinds of moss do I have? None right now. I guess I could buy them, actually. That's not a terrible idea. I don't need to go to the depths, but I can use depth clip to buy the moss. So if I don't get it within a couple runs... There's a blood red. I need purple and blooming purple. I might increase the chance for blooming purple mush drops, but I don't know how much I would want to increase it by. I'm very open to any like balancing changes that anyone would recommend or want to see. Oh, never mind. Okay, I just need a purple. Purple is kind of the most common. Or I guess purple and red have the same drop chance, but purple feels more common. I do want to go to the Asylum anyway for the extra 20k souls from the Stray Demon. As well as potentially the Silver Serpent Ring for a while. And after the stream, I'm gonna try and figure out why the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun and presumably the Ring of the Goddess of the Moon aren't working. Hello? Hold on, I got this. Hold on, I got this. Here we go. Well, okay, the problem with that is the use case for the blooming purple moss is extremely specific. There is only one place in the entire game that I personally use them, right? And that's in Blighttown. And I might just guarantee a blooming purple moss off the Bloodart snipers. That's probably the best way to go about it, actually. Purple. Indeed. The rock bow from Atlas. That's genius. Maybe guarantee a blooming purple. And then, I don't know, because you can get the gold serpent ring really easily here. Which would make grinding for it less bad anyway. I hope you enjoy your 5 seconds in the stream and the little bit of show off while you're here. I was going to do a little bit more of a comprehensive playthrough. I think I'm going to leave that to other YouTubers to do if anyone decides they want to make a video on this, which would be incredibly cool to see. I could make the Bloodart snipers deal poison damage instead of toxic, but I like the toxic. I think toxic makes sense for their position and everything. Especially if they drop a guaranteed blooming, right? I might have to buy 2 Twinkling from, what's his name? The giant blacksmith, but... yeah, all dragon weapons except Priscilla's dagger, that sounds right. If that's true, then I did make Priscilla's dagger buffable. Assuming I remembered. And if not, then I will make it buffable. I could definitely implement these changes after the stream, assuming I finish the game in a reasonable amount of time. I can buff that version of Toxic or rather nerf that version of Toxic individually. And I do think I did actually nerf all poison and toxic for all sources on players and enemies. I don't know how significant it is. I don't remember actually if I ended up getting that working. I'm pretty sure I did, but we'll see. I don't know. We're going down to Blighttown anyway. I gave Bare Fist scaling. There are a couple ways to get a little bit more damage off of the Bare Fists, which I will show off later. Yeah, I did nerf all toxic, but I don't think I'm gonna nerf the toxic Bloodart snipers individually as their own thing, because I do like how they are placed and how they're used. Here we go. Do some snuggly trades. Snuggly? Yeah, this one's snuggly. Picklebee Bumbarum. 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 The biggest changes to this mod are with the infusion system and balancing around a lot of weapons that otherwise wouldn't be too incredibly useful. Basically, my goal was to make everything viable, and also to make it possible, or give you a lot more ways to make builds viable, as well as making a lot more like builds in general. So there are a lot of buffs to a lot of rings that buff a lot of different things. Like the Ring of the Sun Princess. I think it was the Ring of the Sun Princess. One of those rings that buffs miracles. There are 2 rings that buff miracles. And one of them is the Miracle Resonance one, right? I changed the Miracle Resonance one to buff lightning damage instead of giving you Miracle Resonance, for instance. Which makes lightning damage on weapons specifically more viable. So those kind of changes are added. Did I give this thing? It won't let me select it? Oh, right, never mind. I did not give it bleed. Hold on, my brace is falling off. If getting toxic in one hit bothers you, just equip armor. Like, genuinely, if you just put on the starting Pyromancer set, it takes, I think, 2 or 3 hits to toxic you, and it makes it a lot less annoying. I wanted to somehow encourage using armor a little bit, but I wasn't sure how to do that, and especially upgrading armor. Um, I actually might have increased damage across or decreased player resistances because of that. I don't remember. That might be why things feel like they do more damage. Or it could just be rest. I'm really not sure. Yeah, like the gold hem set, starting pyromancer set, will both give you pretty good toxic resistance and make getting down Blighttown extremely easy. I tried to make it so poise increased with levels, but I don't know how to do that. I don't think I can do that. Doesn't endurance... No, endurance increases your bleed resistance. I did not make resistance worthwhile because I thought it was funny. I did think about it. I didn't do it because I thought leaving resistance as completely worthless would be funny. And that is my only reason. The orange Tearstone ring is a impure red Tearstone ring that gives you increased damage at half health instead of 20%, but it gives you less damage increase. So a 20% increase at 50% health as opposed to 50% increase at 20% health. I only did that for the souls. Huh. I think I'll be good with a +4 until we get to Iron Blacksmith. Brain is functioning mostly. No doll? I mean, I have no reason to get it. I'm not going into the Painted World for this run. I did add things to the Painted World. I don't remember what, admittedly. So do explore the Painted World if you're gonna play this mod. I would recommend exploring everything. YouTube is better than Twitch because you can actually see what's happening on the screen, which you can't do on Twitch. Personally, I like to see my stream in a little bit higher than 6,000 bit rate. 6,000 bits per second. Give the game vanilla, but change the drop rates, and that's all. I'm sure there are mods to do that. I'm not overestimating how bad it is. I've seen Twitch streams. I've also I used to stream at 6,000 kilobits per second. And it's bad. $2,000. Did you add 50 more birds? Oh, that's so smart. Should have done that. Hey, I have 69 souls. Nice. Domhnall moves at... Oh, I want Power Within. I'm gonna go Freeler and Chase. Domhnall moves after beating Quelaag, right? And you don't need to beat the Gaping Dragon to get Domhnall to move? Question mark. I hope that's the case, because I really don't want to fight the Gaping Dragon. And there's a reason I do want him to move, which hopefully will be obvious soon. I would hope it's gay. Added Pickle Pea and Pumperum. Just change Snuggly's dialogue to be Pickle Pea and Pumperum. Pumperum, Pumperum. Let's see if I can do this fairly quickly. Using glitches in my own mod? How could I? I like Snuggly more. Because I relate to her. No! That's unfortunate. Thank you, Krista. Dark Souls 2 mod where you can marry Ornifex? Alright, I'm on that. I want that too. It's not a glitch, I just made it. It's not a glitch, it's a feature! Excuse me. Ah! Everything's fine. I'll fight Kalameet. I think I changed Kalameet's resistances to not be insanely resistant to lightning, but I don't remember. Manu fighting for life. Oh. I don't know. I feel like you can marry Kalameet in your heart, and that's all you need. I can change the dialogue prompt in Goth's screen. Would you like to marry Kalameet? Oh my god. I swear I can do this. Me too, Sheila. I literally just drank water. Okay. Oh, why did the game go silent? That's so strange. That's really weird, actually. Um, there's nothing suspicious going on at all. Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to fix it. Okay. Stop it. That makes things boring. Oh, what? That's crazy. I have power within now? What happened? Whoa, that's so weird. I should put on the Grasscrow shield. That's crazy that I have power within now. I'm usually not that bad. Usually. I don't know. Something's going on today. I wanted to change it so that you got the favor and protection buff from being human. Just to, like, kind of give a point to being human beyond the invasions. I couldn't figure out how to do that. I'm sure it's possible. I just haven't figured it out. And then I would change favor and protection from the buff that it gives you normally. Excuse me, to like status resistances or something. I don't know. Yeah, the power's always been within. Yeah, there is a lot of extra pressure. That's why I'm failing so much. Seal, I'm sure you would. The ring is seen better. Yeah, so the reason that the rings are dark is because of there's something with like the textures and color amounts, and because I added the green, orange, and another ring, the color values got changed and things are a bit funky looking, and I'm not good enough with texture work to be able to fix that. If someone else knows how I would be able to make it such that it doesn't do that with a limited color palette while still having the extra colors for those rings, you know, how I could like cut down on the extra colors needed or like change the other rings to have fewer colors, I would greatly appreciate that, but I have no idea how I'd go about doing it on my own. But you know, things work. You like how dirty they look? Pretty sure I added a couple large Titanite shards to the bottom of Blighttown. I added several large Titanite shard drops through like the depths and stuff as well. So you are a lot more likely to have more than enough shards without grinding at all, especially if you're being thorough with your exploration. So as you can see, the poison is dealing much more damage much quicker, but the bar is also decreasing much quicker. And I believe I didn't do my math correctly, and it's actually going to end up dealing less damage than it would in vanilla. But very easy way to get... Oh, I don't have a purple mouse clip. I was going to say easy way to get into orange tear starting range, but I guess that works. Yeah, so that's the total amount of damage that poison does now. It does it much quicker, though. Yeah, Smo, you haven't been around for the past few streams, huh? I actually don't have my stream or my chat view in top chat right now. So. Also, the Sanctus is now a percentage heal instead of a flat heal. And it is a like 0.75% heal per second, as opposed to like 3 HP per second or whatever that it was originally, 2 HP per second. So that is a huge buff to the Sanctus, but it also makes hyper mode a lot harder to achieve, if not functionally impossible, because all healing sources are percentage based now. And I kind of like that change because there are so many ways that you can get very similar damage, if not way more, like Orange Tearstone Ring combined with Red Tearstone Ring, for instance. So I'm not too bummed about missing out on hyper mode in this mod. To be fair, that is also with the OTSR buff, right? So it's not just the dagger itself. I could have hyper moded. Actually, hyper mode with OTSR is probably easier than with RTSR, right? Because you have a lot more time to use it, like 30 seconds as opposed to like the 10, 15 you would get otherwise. This is also a +4, right? So it's almost maxed out. So this is like kind of what you would expect out of a maxed out weapon, right? As opposed to basically no damage. I don't want to light that right now. What am I doing? Is it me? Is my internet bad? Because that might just be my stream. I don't know. I'm not getting any like frame drops or anything according to OBS, but it's not impossible that the problems are on my end. Yeah, it's at a +4 and not a +5, but it's pretty close. I'm actually gonna switch my chat view. One moment. Okay, my chat view is now live chat, so I can see how degenerate people are really being. They hate that broke. They do hate that broke. That's true. Don't do that, Smo. That's bad for your health. I don't think YouTube censors the word slurs, which is probably a good thing. I think YouTube just updated. Yeah, there's the new UI going on, which is it just kind of made the video playback options bigger, which is very strange. Very strange choice. You can try to talk about it. You can definitely talk about it in my Discord. Wait, it did go through. Trying to show off my mod, and people are talking about piss and getting eaten out by calamite. Not complaining, but that is happening. Forgot all about the Bloodborne Smasher pass. How could you? People are looking forward to that, including me. I don't know, I feel like Bloodborne would be a lot easier than Dark Souls 2 or 3, but I'm not sure. Okay. We'll level up quite a bit. I want to get to 2740, and I'll just be leveling Vitality. To get as much damage as I can to show off what's possible with an otherwise extremely mediocre weapon. Trying to think of what I changed in Sens. I added one thing that I'm definitely going to show off in Sens. You're going to say something bad? Oh no, what kind of bad? That's concerning. Something bad? Oh my god, Vinny can't say that. What the heck? My stream is gonna get flagged. Actually, YouTube didn't censor it, so maybe I'm good. Well, YouTube did censor that, so... Add double speed swinging and Sens? No, but I should? Hello? That's genius. Make Sens impossible to get through. So smart. Actually, if you watched the other video that I did on my mod, the first one, I think, you'll know what change I'm talking about in Sens. Makes sense. Actually impossible. I'll do it. Oh, I forgot to talk to Domhnall. I'll be back in a sec. It's fine. You know, I do need to use Soulstruct to add a change. I need to learn Soulstruct first of all. But once I learn Soulstruct, I need to use it anyway to add a specific change that I want to add and that I've been wanting to add to a Dark Souls mod for a very long time. And it was one of the biggest inspirations for this mod. So since I'll be learning Soulstruct anyway, I'll go ahead and add a bunch of random holes and stuff you have to jump over in Sens. I think that'll make it more fun. That's a joke. I'm not actually going to do that. I could. It would be funny. Like an optional path. So you could take a week off, so... Something tells me you have ulterior motives. I'm already banned from Dark Souls. I've been banned for a very long time. So being online while modded isn't an issue for me. I like seeing messages and stuff still, so... Actually, am I online right now? I thought it kicked me off earlier. In the "you are banned" message for Dark Souls 1, there's actually a typo. It's supposed to say Articol 10, but it says Artivol 10. You can be online for some functions. It's limited online functionality. You can see messages and bloodstains, but you cannot see the or you can't like invade or do co-op or whatever. Oh my god, there it is. Whoa, did you see that? Did you see the super special awesome change that I made in Sen's Fortress? This was like one of the first things I did. This was, I think that actually the first change that I made was putting this here and the Ghost Blade down in Blighttown. This is actually the Firekeeper Soul that you find in Blighttown. And then that kind of gives a purpose to the Balder Knight being here, protecting it or whatever. I don't know. I didn't think about the lore very much. I got banned from DS1 because I played a randomizer and was online. That's the egregious crime I committed. Did a Firekeeper get descends? I don't know. Dark Souls smoke spot consumed by corpses. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They can't all be smoke spots, you know? Okay. I think I'm getting to the point where he's about to start falling. I'm not sure how much of this is actually hitting his ankles. I don't think it's very much of it. Hey, that might be a good spot, hopefully. Yay, he fell over. Actually, yeah, the point of moving the Firekeeper souls, because I moved most of them, was to make it easier to get them. So the one in, first of all, the one in New Londo, then I moved here. The primary purpose of that was to be able to put the Ghostblade where the Firekeeper soul is, because, you know, a lot of people who are coming at this from the viewpoint of already having played Dark Souls enough that they want to mod it will probably know that the Firekeeper soul is there. Be like, oh, okay, I can get the Firekeeper soul real quick to get myself a little bit more healing and to make, you know, the first bit of the playthrough a little bit easier on myself. But then instead they get a really cool weapon that they might not have seen before because, you know, the Ghostblade is the rarest weapon in Dark Souls by far. Because it drops from 2 enemies at a 0.5% drop rate or 1% drop rate or something. So it's like a brand new weapon that people have never seen before that's really good for the early game. So it serves the same purpose as the Firekeeper soul, just in a different way, which was kind of the point of the mod in the first place. And I put it there because that was the first spot I thought of, because Sen's Fortress needed an item there, and I thought the Firekeeper soul was fitting and worked for how I was doing things. The Firekeeper soul in the Duke's Archives, I moved to the Tomb of the Giants, I think. I think that's the one that I moved there. There's one in the Tomb of the Giants, is the point. Don't remember what's in that spot now and then the Duke's Archives. I think it was a slab or something. Always confuses grab animation with the stumbling animation. I get that. I understand that completely. Yeah, there are 5 channelers in the game, as opposed to the 2 ghosts that drop the Ghostblade, so I would consider it rare significantly. Especially because one of the ghosts that drops the Ghostblade is really out of the way, right? So... I think it would be funny to remove half of this rafter. Or make a hole in that rafter so you have to jump over it. Okay. Any point to doing Duke skip? I mean, you gotta skip the first encounter with Seath. I never do it. The Titanite thingy is... Right, the slab, you mean? That's still a slab. I left that as a slab. I thought that made sense as a slab. I am... I could. I don't know how feasible it would be, but I could definitely try to make the Pasaka's stab attack actually heal you. That'd be funny. I'm not sure how I would do that or if I could, but... Have a good night, Smell. Thank you for being here while you could. Hope you enjoyed your time. You want to eat a Titanite slab? That sounds bad for your teeth. I don't remember if it's this side or the other side that I put it on. It's the other side. So these thingies, you can actually walk on them. And on one of the sides, I think it's also the other side, has a chance to spawn an evil vagrant. I don't remember what this is. Twinkling Titanite. Whoa. That's a really good item. Oh, I should put one there. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I feel like that makes sense for an item. But I also kind of like that there's nothing there. Maybe I'll leave it empty for now. But that I did not remember putting a Twinkling Titanite there, but that is fortunate to have. I added more Lightning Miracle locations as well. I think I put one in Sens and I put one in Orlando. I think. There's also that. Nah, Strong Thieves. Okay. Well, I wish you luck in that endeavor. You're gonna have to have a pretty strong jaw as well. Oh, I mean the Logan encounter is still a... You have to die to see the Logan encounter then, presumably. Yeah, Lightning Spear, Great Lightning Spear, and I think I put Sunlight Spear somewhere as well. Because only being able to get Sunlight Spear in New Game Plus and only being able to get one of them is rough. Get a BPW? True. Hi. That's me. Things I want to show off in Orlando. I guess, oops, kind of just the red tier starting location. Slapping a big slab on the end for bonk. That's genius. Yeah, batteries do indeed have acid inside of them, Vin. You should be careful about that. Do not chew on batteries. That is very bad for your health. Yeah, Sunlight Spear is from Gwyn's soul going to the Covenant, which is annoying. One of the few, I don't know, it makes sense, but it's so underwhelming. It's cool that you get, you know, a miracle that is exclusive to New Game Plus, but it's also like really annoying. Okay, but imagine there's also a vagrant here. There's not. I feel like a very possible way that someone could stumble upon this accidentally is the Batwing Demon jumping off and then like them looking at like, oh, there's an item there, but the distortion hard to notice. I still don't think you should be drinking battery acid. Okay, must be 2K. Yes. Well, that's why I'm showing it off here. I didn't show that because I thought it'd be cool for people to find that on their own in the earlier videos. But, I don't know. Give you a bone if you decide to enjoy my content. I am trying not to show off too much because there's a lot of changes that I think would be cool to stumble upon on your own. But like balance changes and whatever, I have no qualms with people knowing about beforehand and all that, so. And I mean, like, I don't know. I did put out an entire document that lists almost every single change the mod makes anyway. But I would prefer people, at least some people, go in a little bit blind, you know, because I think that's interesting. Did I even upgrade the weapon? I don't remember if I pressed the upgrade button. So the thing with this mod, actually kind of vanilla as well, but also more so in the mod because infusions are better. What was I doing? Yeah, power line. Faith is kind of objectively better. Why can I two-hand the Pyromancy Flame? I don't remember this. Yeah, so Faith is better. I'm dead. I'm not dead. Oh my god. Everything's fine. Faith is better because it gives you all element types, right? Faith gives you magic off of Divine and what's the other one? Occult. Both of those give you magic damage on Faith scaling. Also with a Sora Straight Sword or the Dark Moonblade, right? Those both give you magic damage. And then there's also obviously lightning. and fire damage scales off of intelligence and faith. Damn it, I thought it was far enough. So, but with intelligence, you're missing out on lightning. Because you have magic damage, obviously, with intelligence. And fire scales off of both intelligence and faith. But now lightning doesn't scale off of intelligence at all, and there's no way to get lightning damage with pure intelligence. So faith is better. So I think it makes a little bit of sense. Or rather, faith is a little bit more diverse. So it makes sense that or that miracles are more of a supplementation to a faith build rather than the primary focus of a faith build, as opposed to intelligence, which is a little bit more focused and will get you more damage overall with very specific things, right? So I don't hate that miracles are underutilized, but I also really like a lot of miracles as a supplement to another build. No, I did make a Starry Straight Sword like actually usable now. I give it a much better scaling. It's buffable now. It's like actually good. Actually, Faith also gets you physical, right? Intelligence also gets you physical with Dark Bead and the other dark spells, but I assume Wrath of the Gods and Emit Force are physical. I'm not actually sure. That's quite a bit of damage for a dagger. Stop it! Oh my god. There we go. I renamed a curved sword to the gay sword, and I'm dead. I don't remember which curved sword it was. Wait, there's no versatility in Faith, but Faith gives you more damage types and miracles that are more useful as supplements rather than the primary focus of a build, but there's no versatility? I'm confused. What do you mean by no versatility? What, Wrath of the Gods is holy damage with magic modifier? Is it? I'm actually not sure. It might be. In my brain, especially Emit Force has always dealt physical, but it could definitely be magic damage. Damn, too bad Smo left when he did. He'd get a revel in me failing to be good at the video game. It's the Sunlight Sword. The Sunlight Straight Sword has been renamed to the Sunlight Gay Sword. I forgot about that. And it took way more effort than it should have, because I had to individually do that for every single infusion at every single upgrade level. So you better appreciate that. Because it took me probably 20 minutes to just rename the sword. Okay, I'm getting greedy because the weapon is fast, but I don't need to be greedy. I'm dealing quite a bit of damage. I'm scared. Okay, everything's fine. No, come back. Okay. Just don't get greedy. Being gay is awesome, that's true. Women are incredible. Being gay gives me the privilege of talking to women, which is like the biggest privilege there is. Miracles are hard to get in Dark Souls 1? Huh? Wait, like what? Which ones? I guess like the Lightning Spear and Sunlight, or Great Lightning Spear and Sunlight Spear are hard to get. Wrath of the Gods is... No, because you just need to kill Capra and Pinwheel. Wait, which ones are hard to get? I think this is... Yeah, Great Lightning Spear. I figured that placement made sense, even if a corpse being there didn't really make sense. I don't know, I guess Emit Force, you have to go through Siegmeyer's questline, but not even all of it, right? So, I don't know. Some miracles are a little bit difficult to get, but that's why they serve more as supplementations to a build, rather than being the primary part of a build. To go very out of the way to get Wrath of the Gods, you just buy it from Rhea. And you just kill Capra Demon, they show up. And then you kill Pinwheel, they go down to the Tomb of the Giants, you kill Vincent Nico, and then she sells it to you. That is, in my opinion, not out of the way at all. Okay, 40, and I'll get to 27, then we'll just start getting vitality. That's not where I want to go. Yeah, it's in the parish. Like, admittedly, you do need to kill 2 bosses and then go into the Tomb of the Giants. But you don't even need to get the Lord Vessel for that, right? So, yeah, and kill Petrus because he sucks, true. God hates manta rays. uh, oh. Okay. I see it. You know what? Actually, I want to do something before I go fight the Hydra and Sif. So I want to make sure I have something real quick. I have a sneaking suspicion that the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun and the Ring of the Goddess of the Moon will work when I wear both of them, but not when I'm wearing only one of them. Some of the Giants early isn't even that bad though, because like once you're down there, it's also really easy to get the Silver Serpent Ring, which is a huge buff to any playthrough, right? Is he there? He is there. I don't need to kill Gaping Dragon. Like it's easy to get there. It's right at the beginning of the Tomb of the Giants, so you don't even need to go that far. You need to kill Pinwheel, who is technically a boss for early game. I don't know. You just get like Vamos' hammer and then you win. Which most classes can use without leveling up by just two-handing it. Oh. Everything's fine. And it's made even easier in this mod, by the way, for a reason that I will not elaborate on for now. Maybe once we get down there. Purchase. Oh, what's this? He sells... Whoa, what are these? Wow, that's crazy. Why? They might have given them the same value. Okay, that's something I need to fix. I thought I got that working, but I guess not. Okay, so if I put both of these on, that's not at all what I meant to do. Hello? Okay, they're still not working. I'm not sure why they aren't working then. I might have fucked up the pointers somewhere. The graphics for these are actually in the game already. There is the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun is actually the Ring of Blind Ghosts. That's what the graphic is. In it, which originally would have made you blind to, or the ghost blind to you in New Londo, and I believe Ingward would have dropped it, was the lore implication there, because Ingward is in New Londo and the ghosts are all around him, but they don't attack him because he's wearing this Ring of Blind Ghosts. And then this is the Ring of Retribution, which was... I don't remember what it was going to do, actually. I believe it would have been like a Ring of Thorns? No. It was the Velka Covenant Ring. But I don't know what it would have done. I didn't actually look into the item description for that one. But the graphics were there. I already wanted to make these rings and was like, oh, okay. I can just steal those. They're yellow and gray, which works for Sun and Moon, so these are mine now. I might put on Favorite Protection. I don't know. The rings are kind of like a lot more useful in this mod. A lot of them, again, have been like really buffed, especially some later game ones that I'll get. And you get a lot of way more useful rings way earlier on, like Silver Serpent Ring you can get in the lower Undead Burg, which is way earlier than you normally get it. So... But I did buff the Velka Rapier, or Velka's Rapier. It is now buffable, so you can use Magic Weapon on it. And it has better scaling, does more damage. I mean, obviously, unlocking Pyromancy in the first place is easier, but you're gonna have more miracles than just Wrath of the Gods, right? Siegmeyer's quest, you do need to go to Anor Londo for, but once you get you're already going there anyway, so you kind of do his quest automatically as long as you talk to him and then kill the 3 Silver Knights in that one room. So, Emit Force isn't hard to get, even if it's a little bit later than most spells. I don't know, like, miracles are harder to get than, like, a lot of other spells, but I don't know, miracles themselves, especially if you know what you're doing, aren't that far out of the way. And I don't think are worth considering, like, hard to get or whatever. you get Lightning Spear for free as soon as you join the Covenant. A lot of the more helpful miracles, like Heal or whatever, you also just get by talking to Petrus, which kind of reinforces the fact that they're supposed to be supplemental. I don't know. I don't think it's worth saying that they're hard to get. They're just a little bit later in the game than other spells. Thank you, Mena. I appreciate that. Don't mind mid-rolling in Dark Souls 3. I'm the opposite. I don't mind it in Dark Souls 1 so much, but in Dark Souls 3 it feels awful. All Rings trophy and Demon Souls, yeah. I feel like Demon Souls trophies are some of the hardest to get in the series. I think I put Sunlight Spear in the kiln. I don't remember. I know I put something in the kiln. In a weird spot that's kind of out of the way, but I don't remember where or what. Oh, this is unfortunate. Oh no, Krista. Be careful. Tread carefully. Damn it. Hello, Pasaka number 3. Welcome. Something tells me Vin might want you to play Dark Souls 3. I used to be a Dark Souls 3 disliker. Now I'm a Dark Souls 3 liker, but asterisk. I think it's good, but not as good as the others. And also, I have to play it in a very particular way to enjoy it. But when I do play it like that, I enjoy it quite a bit. And I do get the urge to go and replay it pretty frequently. Do I have any, like, fire bombs or anything? No. This is scary. What is that way? I have to play it very slow. Not slow. I have to play it very thoroughly, rather. Hey, good job, Manu. I am proud of you. Yeah, I have to be very deliberate and thorough when I play Dark Souls 3. Otherwise, I just kind of don't enjoy it because it feels really slow running between all the bosses and stuff. I just realized that I have this. I wonder if I'll fast roll like that. I will. Whoa. Oh, is Dark Souls 3 mid-roll like the Elden Ring one? I don't know. Dark Souls 3 plays better with, like, in my opinion, straight swords because they're faster and that matches the pace of the game better. But quick? Oh, because like in the pace of the full game, that would be because I didn't need to get like the large number or anything. Or like chunks or whatever, which would have been faster in the mod, by the way. You should play it. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Put a lot of work into it. And it would be really cool to see people play it and get feedback to make it better and everything. Especially for balancing changes, doing a bunch of playthroughs on my own, specifically for balancing purposes through this, is going to be kind of difficult, but I should have leveled Faith so I could use the Lightning Miracle. That's 300. Thinking about AR. I'm pretty sure Sunlight Blade is 300 extra AR. as opposed to like the 150 on the pine resin. Play Elden Ring if you want to have any amount of fun. Elden Ring is okay. I have yet to find a way to play Elden Ring where I can enjoy it other than the first playthrough. And I can't do another first playthrough. So. Yeah, I don't know. I've not been able to replay Elden Ring in a way that made me enjoy it even remotely as much as my first playthrough. Because it's like, now I know exactly where to go and which extremely boring, repetitive dungeon to do instead of all the ones that I don't need to do and are also repetitive and boring. And like, I never go out of my way to do catacombs or caves or even legacy dungeons that I don't need to do. Unless it's like, okay, now I have my entire build together. Let me go eviscerate Rellana real quick. Renala. Renala, not Rellana. It's like almost there. I might have increased the gold pine resin drop chance from the mushrooms. I don't remember. However, merchants now sell infinite gold pine resin, like they did with charcoal pine resin. So the female undead merchant and Domhnall both sell infinite lightning pine resin instead of like the 3 from Domhnall or whatever. There was actually, so talking about pine resin, the charcoal pine resin gives you 80 AR instead of the 150 that gold pine resin gives you. There were plans for a burning pine resin that I found in the game files that did the 150 AR like lightning pine resin, but for fire. That didn't end up making it into the game for whatever reason. So I did use the burning pine resin value for another thing, which I will hopefully see, assuming all my custom ring functions didn't break. We'll see whether or not that's the case. Oh my goodness. So there will be, charcoal pine resin does 150 AR, like the burning pine resin was going to, but then I made the burning pine resin to 80 and used that not for an item called burning pine resin, but for a ring, which I will get in this playthrough. And again, we'll see if it functions or not. Hopefully it does, because it not functioning would be very disappointing. Oh my god, Sif. I like the orange tearstone ring. Come back. It's not exactly a perma fire sword ring. It's actually a little bit more interesting than that. But yeah, basically. Okay. Where she jumps on your head. The problem is the hitboxes on the feet when she jumps, which I don't think are a bad thing. So I will be keeping that. I don't know, I was gonna say something, and then I remembered that in Smash or Pass I said no comment. So I don't think I'm allowed to say that. What I was gonna say about Sif. I'm trying to think if my rings don't function the way they're supposed to. Wait, they don't. It's the script that's messed up. That makes no sense. Okay, so now that I have the Covenant of the Abyss, it's a... Doesn't even give me that. Okay, so I need to fix this in order to continue this run. Let me go ahead and switch to this menu, or this window. Let me make sure everything is working correctly. So the reason that's not working is the Covenant of Artorias doesn't call the Covenant of Artorias effect anymore. I'm trying to make this like readable on stream because I know this is really small. This is a 2K monitor and I'm streaming in 1080p, so it doesn't work super well. But I have a dummy function here, which is actually called in the script as opposed to in the actual or the actual like ring effect. And what that's supposed to do is get replaced by another effect, which gives you the actual ring effect if you just have it in your inventory. So you don't need to equip the ring to have the actual effect for the ring. So you can go into the abyss by just having it in your inventory, which is actually handled by this, which is not functioning for some reason. Oh, actually, I know exactly why that's not functioning. Wait, no, I don't. What? This is... What? I'm so confused. One second. Maybe relaunching my game will work? Yeah, I didn't want to do bug fixing in real time, but here we are. I'm not sure. Huh. You can chat while on full screen? That's actually a good change. Wow, that's crazy. Getting your face stomped by Sif is kind of pog. Okay, wait. Okay, now it's working. So I guess it just didn't save properly. I am gonna need to fix the upload. Give me one moment to put my brace back on. I took it off because I was prepared to start typing and doing like actual coding in the middle of stream. So in theory, when I put this on, this should also work. Hey, okay, yeah, so there was just something with it not getting saved properly. Now you can see the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun functioning, giving me 394 AR when I'm at full health, as opposed to the 315 when normally. But, and it's a motion value thing, so the AR doesn't exactly match with how much damage you're doing. Anyway, the Covenant of Artorias, if I come in here, in theory, if I coded this correctly, which is, it's very possible I didn't, should give me the transient curse effect. Actually, if that's true, it probably won't let me use a curse. It will. Huh. I don't know if I have the curse effect then. If not, I stole this idea from someone on the Dark Souls modding server, and I asked them for permission. They have not got back to me. This is the technically pre-release version. If they get back to me and say that they don't want me to use that effect, by stealing it from them, I will totally understand. Okay, I don't have transient curse effect. I did code it wrong, I guess. But that is okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna put this on. I think it'll be funnier. So that should give me the transient curse effect. It doesn't, which is fine for now. I'll fix it when that person gets back to me, actually. Actually coding on stream. I didn't have to code on stream. I don't know. In my opinion, the EME, or EM... I don't remember the coding language. The coding language that Dark Souls uses is pretty simple. It's literally just calling specific effects at certain times. It's like, not difficult. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that effect will be implemented. That's not a huge amount of damage, but it's a good amount of damage. Unfortunately, Ring of the Goddess of the Sun... Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. Okay. Ring of the Goddess of the Moon and Ring of the Goddess of the Sun have a stacking effect. So if you have both of them, the rings will always be active. So it's like if you had Lord's Sword Ring and Lord's Shield Ring equipped at the same time, they would both be active no matter what HP you're at. So you can have synergy between Power Oath and the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun. You just need to also have the Ring of the Goddess of the Moon. I forgot I changed their health values. You can't kill individual kings in the fight anymore. So now, if you don't kill them quickly enough, you'll have all 4 kings on you, no matter what. I completely forgot I did this change. I think this is an interesting change. It's a scary one for sure if you're not expecting it. Just like I wasn't, because I completely forgot that I added that. Made the fight worse? No. It's actually, in my opinion, significantly easier, because you don't have that moment when you're like trying to chase individual kings. Damn it. That might kill me. It did. And these ones are kind of just standing in the back. They do occasionally attack you, but it's going to be a lot less frequent than in vanilla. I completely forgot about that change. And I think that's a really cool one, actually. I removed it from the changelog that I put on Nexus, but I did do that, so I should put that back there. Lore-wise, it also makes sense for them to all spawn, yeah. I don't know, it's kind of both to remove the whole 7 king occurrence / 13 or whatever king occurrence, depending on how much you micromanage your king's health pools. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a cool change, and that I'm very happy with it. Because that does feel a lot more tense as a boss fight, but also a lot less like RNG based, where you're praying as you approach each king that it doesn't use the tracking magic. It's also really scary, and you kind of need to split up your attention between the 4 kings. But you also don't need to be super careful about it, because it's rare that the other kings attack you. Oh. To play that one chess game? Well, then I can I can fix that. I forgot I still had it on display capture instead of game capture. There you go. It's now on game capture, so you can open that one chess game without people knowing, Krista. That very normal chess game that you don't want people to know that you're playing. I guess that YouTube doesn't want to know that I'm playing, or that you're playing. Ow. Ow. Oh my god. I think people did see what you're playing, but it's okay. I assume at least half the people who are going to see this play that game anyway. Furry bait game? It's not furry bait, it's just a furry game. Okay, look, usually the ghosts don't attack you there. Atlas is a very furry bait game. Or a very furry game, rather. It is not furry bait because it is a furry game. It is explicitly furry. Yeah. Arguably, though, very Therian bait game. I started playing a game called Spirit of the North. Excuse me, yesterday. Which is very much not a furry bait game, but very much is a Therian bait game if your stereotype happens to be foxes. Oh yeah, there's actually another way to move extremely fast in Atlas. You can do the jump attack, cancel, into ground dash, but it's technically faster if way harder and doesn't work with all weapon types. It works for specifically Sword and Shield and Katars, where if you jump, attack, shield, attack, shield, attack in a very particular rhythm, you'll actually just stay in the air and basically start flying. Very fun to use. Fops game. Fopping it. Okay. Back to 4 kings. I'm gonna power within this time. That was a bad time to do that, but it's fine. It was a very good time to do that. That's a lot more damage. 40% more damage. Oh, you know, I think my favorite thing about this change, actually, is if you are shredding the kings, you don't need to just stand there and wait for the next one to spawn. That hit me? I might be dead. We're living. Everything's fine. There we go. What's the mod called? The mod is Dark Souls Remastered Goddess of the Sun Edition. It is on Nexus. There's a link to it in my Discord server. I also meant to put the link in the description. Give me one moment. Make sure I'm not sharing my Discord chat logs with the world. That would not be good. Hold on, let me find the link real quick, and I will put that in the chat for people now. And then I will also put it in the description. Give me one moment. I completely forgot to do this earlier. I should have. I can remember how to use YouTube. Jesus. Link colon. There you go. Save. Okay. If you refresh the page, hopefully, the mod link will be in the description. To 27, and now it's just going to be leveling Vitality. The Vitality being so low is driving you insane. I don't know, just don't get hit. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, Duke's Archives time. I was really worried that the Ghost Blade was going to be overpowered. I don't think it is, actually. I do think that it feels a lot better, and it is definitely way, way more powerful than it was, and it's probably the best dagger in the game, aside from maybe Priscilla's, but my worry of it being overpowered was unfounded, thankfully. Seath. I changed Seath in a way that I think it's a change that I've talked about before. I made him weak to bleed because I feel like that makes sense with him being scaleless. But it also, I feel like, makes the fight at least somewhat more interesting. He's still insanely weak to lightning as well, so you can take advantage of that fact and obliterate him very easily if you just put lightning on a bleed weapon, like the Life Hunt Scythe or whatever, which can be buffed now. I'm pretty sure I made the Life Hunt Scythe buffable because it's just pure physical. I don't know if that was a good idea. But that will shred Seath very, very quickly. But I don't know, I feel like it made sense, and it also adds a layer to the fight that makes it a lot less monotonous. Because, like, while the Stray Demon fight itself isn't incredibly interesting, it does have the bleed aspect, so you can do it super early, which I think is really fun, and it makes me like the Stray Demon because of that, because of how it fits into the game progression, and how you can break that by just having a little bit of game knowledge, or even just testing out different builds and weapons on it. There are quite a few weapons that deal bleed damage that aren't even... like, you wouldn't want them for the bleed damage, like the Painting Guardian Curved Sword, for instance. I think I increased the drop chance for Blue Titanite chunks. I don't think they drop Blue Titanite chunks, actually, vanilla. That might be completely added. I don't know. I've been so mired in the mod that I don't remember exactly what I added and what is vanilla. Looks like the Thief's Dagger from Dark Souls 2. I don't think I ever used that. There we go. That's a lot of damage. Okay, while Seath obliterates me, I am going to use the restroom real quick as well. Once we get there. Girl Pisaka, indeed. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the changes are just kind of like upgrade material changes. But I think it fits with the very dramatically changed progression system. And especially like how much better infusions are. It feels a lot better to have more upgrade materials so you can try out a bunch of different things, and even if you don't end up liking it, you know. Hey, sometimes it's when Goth kills Calamite, or shoots Calamite or whatever, or when I enter the DLC. Okay, anyway, I will be right back. Wait. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Bleeding a lot in the opening cutscene just from holding the scales. Yeah, I mean, lore-wise, it makes sense for sure. But gameplay-wise, it also just feels nice, right? Which was the main reason I did it. There is something happening outside that is very loud noise. Hopefully that is not coming through. And if it is, hopefully it's not too loud. Don't worry, Ven. I can see that. It's okay. It's you time. Wow. Oh, it missed. Hold on. I'll get rid of this one first. Oh, that's gonna be off the edge. Wait. Oh. Darn. I'm sorry. I had to get rid of her somehow, and that was the fastest way. Also, one-handed backstab, one-shotting them is pretty funny. That is also partially from the crit modifier. Did I increase it? I think I did increase it slightly. Also gave all halberds a crit modifier. Liked it. Halberds now have a crit modifier. Because I feel like having an entire halberd pushed through you, regardless of the halberd, would hurt a little bit more than a dagger. So, Lucerne, Bardiche, Great Scythe, Life on Scythe. All of those now have a crit modifier. Alright, enjoy Dharmakias. Let me know what you think about it. If you want to give any feedback, the Discord link in the description is the best way to do that. There is obviously the Nexus comments page, but I check that a lot less frequently than my Discord, so. But I will still see it if you don't want to join my Discord. I didn't rename that Bartiche, but that's a really good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I will rename the scythe to Bardiche. That's a great idea. There was another change I wanted to make that I mentioned early on in the stream. Does anyone remember what that was? Because that wouldn't be too hard. Whatever it was, it wouldn't be too difficult to do. I don't know. Do it. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Dragon form starting class? Okay. I don't know. I could definitely add dragon form to the depraved. Or not the depraved, the... What's it called in this one? I don't remember. I could, like, add the dragon form to that. And, like, rename it Dragon Warrior or something. That is absolutely a possibility. Oh, right. Hold on. This is important. I have to activate my trans woman powers to do this. Okay. What? Excuse me? Wow, and we survived it this time. That's crazy. I think I added more items to the Duke's archives. Most of them were upgrade materials just to make it a little bit more worthwhile to like explore. I don't know. I know that Trev the Dev said he was working on a mod to add elemental. Oh, right. To add elemental. Hold on, it's in there somewhere. Dragon headstones that weren't just fire. I don't know if he's still working on that. If he's not, that would be something really cool to add. I could ask him if he has worked on it. And if I could add that to my mod, I think that'd be really cool. But, you know, I definitely would want permission at the very least first. Obviously, I'm not gonna steal ideas. Change what the dragon looks like? Probably not. Just different elements. I don't know. I think at least a lightning one would be cool since the drakes do lightning damage. And maybe you would have to get that by killing one of the drakes or something. Should be faith. You mean the magic damage with the holy modifier? Wouldn't it be physical? Because Kalameets is physical. That launches headstones. A gay dragon that spews rainbow. That's genius. That should be all the dragons, I feel like. Better be woke. That's the hope. Give me one moment. I forgot that it would mute when I did that. Oh god. That's not good. Okay, hold on. This is important, trust me. Oh my god, if I could get my computer to function correctly. Okay, there we go. Woke dragons. I feel like the concept of dragons are woke in general already. Mostly because a lot of queer people like dragons. Way too EP to be woke. Gala meat. I feel like dragons just as a rule are kind of gay. There's a message in that corner, and I want to see what that message says. Welcome back, Pasaka number 3. I hope you enjoyed your time. They're always in drag. Yeah, because a lot of queer people are based and correct. So obviously a lot of queer people want to do that with dragons. Hold on, where was it? Over here. Gotta know. I don't remember which items down here are vanilla. I did add a few. What is it? Fatty. No. I was hoping that'd be funny and interesting, but it wasn't. Want to do a lot of things with the dragons, understandable. I did add a couple blue titanite chunks and whatever down here. I don't remember exactly what I added and where, though. I could have put something on that ledge. That would have been funny. A second tail cut. But not at the tail. You know, I'm really surprised that YouTube recognizes... I don't think I'm going to say it because it did censor the chat for saying it. But I'm surprised it recognized that word. I think I also added a couple item drops, or items rather, to this cave somewhere. I don't know where exactly. I don't know. I did add at least a slab somewhere. I don't know the crystal caves very well to remember what is and isn't vanilla. And it's been months since I started moving stuff around. Which is why I wanted to come back to it and like finally release this after changing some of the balancing and stuff. I kind of got heavily discouraged when I realized that all my scaling changes needed to be changed. But then I found a way to do it much quicker and easier, so... Cat on your keyboard is like really literate for a cat. Okay, so I'm actually going to use Power Within and then replace this with this. I think a clam got in. Hold on. I don't remember how weak to bleed I made him. I swear he's weak to bleed. I wanted to, oops, that's not good. I wanted to make him as resistant as the, oh god. As the Stray Demon, but I think I messed that up somewhere, because that doesn't feel like that weak. Oh, but the Ghost Blade is chunking. Very interesting seat fight, I swear. Okay. This is fine. Cat is very creative, true. Against DDR on the laptop. Alright. It sure was a Seath fight. Okay, since I've already kind of made it a precedent to do this, so I don't have to remember, I'm actually going to go into... I know you can't see this. Into the programming thingy. Not the programming, but the Smith box, which is the program that I use to change enemy values and stuff, and make sure he is actually weak to bleed. Seath the Scaleless. If I can find bleed resistance. It's in here somewhere, I swear. Low? Bleed resistance? Bleed. Status. Bleed. Resist blood. Ah. Okay, I figured it out. I changed the wrong one. So that will be updated for next time. So now Seath will be, in fact, weak to bleed. If you download the mod at any point soon. Yeah, it's like actually a weapon now. It's pretty great. It's like usable. Lord is... You're right. That's probably what I did on accident. I just got distracted. There was a weapon. Vertiche. Okay, I'll remember that. That did get through. I don't know, I'd be surprised if YouTube understood splooge, considering other things that it doesn't recognize. It did surprise me a couple times, though. My lips are really chapped right now. Probably because it's getting colder and humidity is going down. You found a new word to exploit. Good luck with that. Okay, Ben, that one didn't get through. I don't know, maybe the Pasaka just has privilege. Huh. One of these days, my entire channel is going to get banned because of my stream chat. And you know what? I'm ready for that day. We got a good run. SpongeBob SquarePants. Jesus Christ. I don't usually have the rusted iron ring because I like don't go to the asylum, or when I go to the asylum I don't grab the key. So I think having the rusted iron ring a little bit more accessible and a little bit easier to get is a really nice change just for quality of life, because getting the rusted iron ring is annoying. Yeah, the faster poison, I think Dark Souls 2 did poison better. Sometimes it feels like a little bit too much. And I think that this amount of poison feels better. I'm pretty sure Dark Souls 2 changed the poison amounts to be faster, but deal roughly the same amount of damage as it would in Dark Souls 1. But I haven't really like super looked into that very much. I am shocked that made it through. How am I supposed to turn this into a video and then say it's advertiser friendly? I wanted to turn this into a video. I might just have to censor the chat for like half the video. It's fine. Like my poison change? Thank you, me too. I like a lot of the changes I made. Yeah, I would agree. Dark Souls 2 does have the best poison in the series. No, we did hit 10k. It was really exciting. Really happy about that. With MCR truths, okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna make sure I cut out everything about me addressing the chat. Jesus. I did add items. I don't know if I think I added one way over there in the spot that I put in the Unremarkable and Odd Places video. I added some other items throughout the Demon Ruins as well. And especially in Last Izalith, I added a bunch of new slabs and stuff. Whoa, 2 hits. Then you gotta get that picture of the elephant that just says address me, you know? That is very invested in gardening, that's true. And I'm proud of them for that. They've picked up a very healthy and beneficial hobby. That one didn't make it through, Pasaka. Your privilege only goes so far. Something. I can help. I don't know. There we go. Now I can attack. Greed. The greed worked. To grow your own calamite. Oh my god. Yeah, so Dark Souls, am I right? I think there's a green Titanite shard down here. Right in this spot. It always felt weird that there wasn't an item here. Oh, it's Demon Titanite. That's even better. Because there's... Normally you can't get very much Demon Titanite until you make it to Sens. And I added some, I guess. I kind of forgot that I did that. I guess it makes sense, actually, being all the way down here. I think it would be cool to add in, like, the tunnel down here that the worm used to burst out of, that they ended up cutting. At least has a tunnel, even if the worm isn't actually there. YouTube censorship is a great mystery. That's true. That might kill me. It didn't kill me. Literally just talking about Dark Souls. Yeah, but you're talking about Dark Souls in a way that YouTube might not consider beneficial to the platform, one would say. The orange chartering is not the same. It has a change very similar to the Covenant of Artorias, where, as you can see, the Covenant of Artorias is still active, even though I don't actually have the ring equipped. And there is another change that, in theory, should still function like I want it to, even though the Covenant of Artorias transient curse effect didn't work. This one should work. It did function. We love Dark Souls. I like how you censored Dark Souls and that made YouTube censor it. That's pretty good. The explosion radius on the Demon Fire Sage is attacks bigger? No. They're the same as the Stray Demons and also Vanilla. Oh, one hit. There we go. And that gives us the orange chartering, which immediately puts it into effect, even without having to put it on. And then when we do put it on, I'll show in a minute, a thing happens. Uh-oh, that might kill me. Oh, I'm too good at the video game to die to Centipede Demon. If I can figure out how to do that, Vin, you have no idea what you're in for. Okay, so, if I equip the orange chartering, you can see in the top left, there is a little spell thingy. If you recognize that, you will know. Actually, I don't know if they implemented that in vanilla, but that's a weapon buff that does fire damage. So, there aren't many enemies to functionally test this on right now, but it applies what would normally be in vanilla the what's it called? The pine resin, charcoal pine resin. It adds the charcoal pine resin effect to your right-handed weapon, which is the 80 AR specifically, not the modded 150 AR version. So I did keep an 80 AR fire damage addition item. It just happens to be a ring instead of a consumable, and it also works on weapons that can't normally be buffed. I tried so hard to get the bare fist to be buffable, but unfortunately This is the best I had to settle for. As you can see, my bare fist is dealing fire damage, which ordinarily is obviously not possible at all. Unfortunately, I do not know that reference, Krista. I should put this back on. I also don't know why the Pyromancy Flame is two-handable now. I don't know if that affects Pyromancies at all. The dragon from Shrek? I can't do that. Calamite is too beloved in my community. Really passionate about gardening. You should, you should teach me how to garden. Fantastic manga called Fire Punch. Okay. Good to know. I feel like I've heard that name, but I don't recognize it. Two-handing is a game changer. It'll make it possible to beat Quelaag. Fire Punch was brought up in my Discord? That makes sense. Chainsaw Man guy? I have seen a little bit of Chainsaw Man, the anime. I have not finished what is out right now, but what I do want to, and I will, but I watched a little bit of it. And it was good. People like to... Yeah. A lot of people do. Wait, is this Son of the... Ring of the Princess of the Moon? That's right. I forgot I changed it. But in the description, it's still Another World's Goddess of the Moon. Because I thought Moon Princess and Sun Goddess were cuter. Chainsaw Woman? That's preferable. Movie's out like next week. Okay, good to know. In 2 days. That's a lot more pressure. I don't know, I have like 4 episodes left. That's not that much. I did not change the Bed of Chaos fight because I'm no coward. The DLC has not been changed yet. Nothing in the DLC has been changed yet, I don't think. No, I placed some items. I don't remember what they are, though. But the DLC is not as changed as I would like it to be right now. There is one specific change that I want to make to the DLC. Actually, that's not true. I did buff the Sanctuary Guardian's health. I doubled the Sanctuary Guardian's health from 1024 to 2056. And hopefully planning on adding another change to that fight. I actually like myself quite a bit. And I still quite enjoy the Bed of Chaos. The big EP is the second menu. I hope the EP is either comfortable or not too strong. Bed of Women. Yes, please. Wait for the side stab. Wait for the side stab. And then double hand swipe. That's not the double hand swipe at all. Oh my god. She went off script. That was terrifying. Okay. Don't get bearded. There we go. It's unclear. Hopefully it ends up being a good sleepy and not a bad sleepy. Oh god. Okay, I got the Lord Soul. Everything's fine. That does mean I need to run back and get my souls, but, you know. I don't know why I stopped. I can run up this without falling, probably. Solar deadits. It's solar pellets bad at, or ruby solar pellets bad at Dark Souls or something. I never remember that bit. Whoa, the slide is faster? I actually didn't think that would increase the slide speed at all. It's a really good idea, Arachnid. I feel like I've ever been in this arena with a bit of chaos actually dead. This is a unique experience. Actually, 20 should be fine. I want some endurance. Okay. Did I change the Nito fight? I don't remember. Ruby, Katubi, Yachubi, slow at Dark Soul, solar pellets. Okay. I will attempt to remember that. I did add a little bit to the catacombs. The catacombs are also more important because fire infusion is actually good. So, you know, you might actually want to get to the what's his name? Why don't Vamos? You might actually want to get to the Vamos bonfire, which is rare. I also actually want to talk to the magic infusion guy. I don't remember his name either. Share his lasagna? He does not, no. Unfortunately, the lasagna is all his, and I will not be stealing that from him. Carve into the walls of your cage. I'm honored to be among the walls of your cage. Fully forgot he did fire infusions. That's exactly why I made the mod. Because it's useless and fire infusion is bad normally. But now it's not bad. And there's a reason to like actually engage with that part of the game, you know? Yeah. Be a little careful about this. So there is, if you can see that, a brand new item in the catacombs. Right there. And I will not be showing off what it is, but I think that is one of my favorite item placements that I did. Because it makes a lot more sense than one of the other vanilla item placements. Vinheim? Something of Vinheim, I think. I don't remember. I imagine Pinwheel won't last too long. I think I increased his health. I might have doubled Pinwheel's health as well. Orbeck Vinheim. Wait, no, that's the Dark Souls 3 guy. Isn't it? I don't know. There is... Yeah, I absolutely increased his health. At least a little bit. Doesn't really change the fight much, but he does have more health. Rickard of Vinheim. Yeah. And then Orbeck is the Dark Souls 3 guy. I don't know, I didn't want to increase Pinwheel's health too much because fighting him early game is a very common thing to do. But I wanted to increase his health at least a little bit. So it's still feasible to fight him early game, and if you do, you're almost definitely going to be seeing the second phase. Which a lot of people don't even know he has a second phase, which is why I wanted that to be more common. But he doesn't have so much health that he becomes like a difficult boss if you go there, when most people do. And that's kind of what I wanted. I don't know. He might still be a little bit too low on health, but I'm also exploiting a lot of the the mod's options. I'm doing quite a bit of damage. By Cricket because he doesn't need the master key. I mean, you wouldn't need the master key anyway. For any point. I'm dropping down here because there's a change right here. The Firekeeper Soul. I believe that's the one from the Duke's Archives. I don't remember. Anyway. Wanted to show off that I did change that. Wait, so are you telling me that I was able to manipulate the world that you exist in? It isn't like you exist specifically in my copy of Dark Souls. Every copy of Dark Souls is personalized, and mine has a Pasaka that watches my live streams. That would explain why I couldn't rest at the bonfire. I feel like a lot of the Vinheim people are very Twinkie for some reason. Rickert, Warbeck, and also the other magic guy in Dark Souls 1. Couldn't say how they have changed. It's an instinctual thing. You know how a lot of armor, not that guy, the other Vinheim guy, or the one, the little magic guy. It's because they're all nerds. So in real life, a lot of armor is made to like make the wearer look more imposing, right? By making them look big and muscular and like what is traditionally a very strong masculine appearance. Do you think in Katarina armor is shaped the way it is because fat people are considered to be like ideal masculine strong build? Because I think that's the case. Yeah. Can only hope so. Twinkheim. Okay, I don't think I changed the Nito fight. I think what I was getting confused by is the fact that I did make changes that affected the Nito fight and make it easier that I intentionally didn't show off in this stream. That's quite a bit of damage. Maybe a little too much, but that's fine. Twinkheim versus Fat Arena. There we go. You guys not an onion? No, he is. He's definitely an onion. Hit the fall damage at the start. I could. I mean, you can use Hush, right? To cancel your fall damage. But I could definitely add, like, a cat fall effect to the Cat Covenant ring. Okay, DLC time. Bellamy, indeed. Well, he can't get out. That's kind of like part of the whole thing. That's why the skeleton's got to drag you there in a coffin and then drag you back out in a coffin. You can't just like walk into there and leave, you know? Good job, Seal. I'm proud of you for beating those boars, even though you were naked. I will withhold my other thoughts. Seal, you need to lock in. Let me turn off the double speed. Did it without armor. True. That is very much locking in. Okay. Best fight in the game, and it'll actually take a... it'll actually take a reasonable amount of time instead of 2 seconds. Maybe. Oh my god. I didn't instantly eviscerate it. This is awesome. Like, this is a really cool mod. Whoever made it must be a pretty cool person, right? Okay, admittedly, I did get pretty lucky with its moves, and the fight would probably take a lot longer. If you get unlucky, but, you know. Still easy. But you get to actually engage with the fight, so. Cool legal name, super cool, awesome. Yeah, something like that. Is that the person who made the mod? That sounds pretty cool. I don't remember if I made Elizabeth sell infinite lightning pine resin. I hope you enjoy playing the mod. Wait, what? Did I accidentally remove the gold pine resin from her shop? Yeah, I haven't added any other changes, any other major changes to the DLC yet. There is at least one I want to do. I don't know. I'm thinking of others that I might do. The one thing that I definitely want to do is I want the Sanctuary Guardian, the arena, to actually slow you down, like deep water. Which I would need Soulstruct to do, and I'm not exactly sure on how I'm going to do that, as much as I definitely do want to. And then, I'm not sure what else I could do in the DLC, to be honest. I like the DLC kind of as it is, mostly. Oh. I can double Calameet's health. That you have to fight Calameet for longer. Quadruple it. Gotcha. Writing this down. Okay, I'm gonna activate the elevator, and I'm gonna go down and activate Calameet. So you can fight Calameet. 4 other Calameets in the arena. I don't think that'd be super fun. Actually, never mind. I will need to make a few other changes to the fight, but I do think that could be fun. Quadruple team by girls. Whoa. I'm gonna, again, withhold my thoughts. Be fun video. It wouldn't be too difficult to just add more Calameets to the arena. I'll make that its own mod and give that to you. Huh? This is under... Okay. The default dagger, I would agree, is underrated. This is, in vanilla, the worst weapon in the game. For sure. um, it's the lowest AR in the game that you can't increase. The best you can do is hyper mode, and even then, you're getting less damage than you would get with any other weapon and sunlight weapon. So, I would absolutely not say that this is underrated. Oh, we're thirsting over Calamite? Yeah, big surprise. Vin's in the chat. Of course we're thirsting over Calamite. Potential for a parrying dagger? Can it parry in the offhand? If it can, I didn't know that. Can't you just use the parrying dagger in Solo 1? Me too, Pasaka. Number 3. That is frequently on my mind. Wait, I want to see if you can parry it, or parry with it in offhand. Parry Calamite. Whoa, is that a parry? Looks like a parry. Okay. Can you use the buckler? Not the buckler, the target shield in Solo 1? Barehanded parry has fewer parry frames than dagger parries. Admittedly, I am significantly more used to medium shield and barehand parries than dagger and small shield parries, but... Okay. I Degalius, no. Ugh. That's so much damage for the ghost dagger. Jesus. Extend the grab attack to 12 hours when? Right now. It's like 50 more grab attacks. Ah, don't roll in there. Greed. Should heal because power within. Okay. The knight that throws what at you? It is not the RTSR effect. It is similar, but it's significantly less damage. I actually don't remember if it's 20 or 30%. But that's the Ring of the Goddess of the Sun. It increases your emotion value multiplier by either 20 or 30% instead of the 50% of the Red Tear Stone Ring, specifically while at full health, unless you combine it with the Ring of the Princess of the Moon, which it has synergy with. A lot of rings have had changes, as also a lot of new rings. The Orange Tearstone Ring is not the only new ring. Or these three are not the only new rings, there are a couple more. The Orange Shard Ring has a new effect. The Covenant of Artorias might have a new effect later. The Rusted Iron Ring's placement has been changed. The Dusk Crown Ring, instead of having HP, I actually need to change the text there. It decreases your HP by 75% to make it like less detrimental to use. Yeah, so there's some changes to a lot of the rings that make them a lot better. Placements for a lot of rings have been changed as well. Yeah, some of the dark rings, like the orange shard ring is a little... Oof. I'm not sure exactly how to fix that. I'm sure there is a way, but I do not know what it is. I don't know. I'll get in contact. I'll try to find someone who's like good at texture modding and see if they know how to not increase the number of colors, but decrease the number of colors that some rings take. More charred now, yeah. Indeed. It does look very charred. Deep fried mod. I still gotta change all the moan, the damage moan sounds to my voice on the female characters. It is one thing I definitely want to do for 1.0. Now the question is, do I make moans unique for this mod? Or do I take my random sounds from streams and put them in instead? You okay? Okay, never mind then. I'll help him down. Okay, he's getting there, you know. He'll get it eventually. He has the tism? Whoa, me too. That's awesome. Make me sad that a lot of autistic people jokes got hijacked and are now very offensive because neurotypical people use them in offensive ways. Like acoustic. Acoustic was never that funny, admittedly, but you know. There were some funny jokes around it, and then it just turned into a slur. I don't know, the only FromSoft game that I would want to see a Bluepoint remake of would be Bloodborne. Just because the Bloodborne aesthetic is so strong, and I think Bluepoint could do it justice. And I think it'd be interesting to see what Bluepoint could do with that kind of atmosphere, as opposed to like Dark Souls, where I feel like they may like end up doing what they did to Demon Souls, where it just doesn't end up very good. Oh, like the Pillar of Autism in Halo. That's where I belong. I took a drink of water when I read the your message, Rapid. Which is a very bad time to take a drink of water, as it turns out. Yeah, the Abyss is actually just Tylenol. That's what happened to Elysiel. Makes a lot of sense. Really clears a lot of things up, I think. Okay. I do need to figure out exactly why the rings weren't working in the mod download, because I thought I copied the correct file, but I guess I probably didn't. Couldn't be too difficult to fix. Actually, I bet I know what I copied instead. So in theory, once I update the mod page, the Ring of the Goddess of the Moon and Ring of the Princess of the Sun should be functioning correctly. On top of all the other ring effects and everything, hopefully. RFK Jr.'s brain after the worms are done. Maybe. Tylenol is what the orange dude says causes autism, yeah. I don't think it makes the game more accessible though, right? Because it's still locked to a Sony console. And like they could just add backwards compatibility for Demon Souls specifically. which I guess they don't do because of licensing issues with FromSoft, but then I guess they would have needed to go through that licensing anyway for the Demon Souls remake. So all it does is make the artistically, or the version of the game that's less, damn it, less what the original intention was, you know, less of the original artist's intention. The only one that's actually available now, right? So if anything, I think the remake being more accessible than the original is a bad thing because it removes the original intention that the artist wanted from the public eye, basically permanently. Unless you already have a copy, you know, get it secondhand or pirate it. So I would argue kind of the opposite. I don't think that's a good thing, though. Demon Souls is supposed to be experimental and weird, and that's what makes it so charming. And the remake, while it is a lot more accessible in terms of how many people could play it and enjoy it, potentially, it's also, you know, removing a lot of things that made Demon Souls special in the first place. Thoughts on Manus? I'm not into men, unfortunately. But I get it. Hold on, gotta wake up Dusk. Oops, hold on. 42 damage. Ooh, I'm sorry. Some things just make it frustrating to go through. I disagree, fundamentally. And like, if that's the case, the game's not for you. Like, I get the accessibility argument, and to a point, I would say that them changing things to make it more accessible is a good thing. But I think the original had its own charm, and those negatives far, far, far outweigh the couple positives that the remake had. Gotta make time. Like, what, some drop chances are increased, like the pure Bladestone, which you don't need to get insane damage anyway. Do crystal lizards work differently in the remake? If they do, I think that's dumb. I don't know. I love Demon Souls. I love all the weird esoteric stuff going on in Demon Souls, and the remake removing some of it, it just feels wrong, especially because it's just a different game at that point. And they could have at least, because the thing is, it was supposed to be a faithful remake, right? And it just wasn't. I think if they had like a legacy mode and a modern mode, it would have been a lot less problematic, in my opinion. Do I have to... You have to leave and then talk again? Can I not fight Calamite? I know there's something you can do if you accidentally press the wrong thing to still fight Calamite, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Now we can fight Calamite. Censoring your accessibility talking? I'm not even saying it in the live chat. You're welcome to send it in the Discord, obviously. That one didn't go through, Vin. It did go into the live chat, though. Oh, wait. Oh my god, it did go through. Jesus. So there is... I don't want to give too much information, but I want people to find it. There is a ring that's been changed dramatically to the point where it's probably overpowered now, but I think that's funny and not a bad thing. So I would recommend trying out different rings and seeing what they do when you play this mod, because at least one of them might surprise you. Fucker, I'm out. I will not confirm nor deny which ring it is, because I do want it to be a secret. At least a little bit. But there is a ring. Can you stay near his tail and backside generally? I want to see something. I will do my best to induce the tail slam attack. But no promises. I wish I had lightning pine resin. I should have picked some up, but it's fine. Because he is weak to lightning now. I mean, he was weak to lightning, but he's a lot more weak to lightning. And I also reduced a lot of elemental resistances in the DLC generally. Oh my god! That's unfortunate. Just gonna... He seems faster? He's not. I didn't change anything like that at all. He vommed on me. Not complaining, but I did want to try to beat him first try. Yeah, I think the Demon's Souls remake is incredible as its own game and is also visually beautiful. But it's not Demon's Souls, so like, also the music sucks compared to the original especially. You know. Hello, alligator. I assume that's how you pronounce that. Welcome. Oh, here comes a tail slam attack for everyone who is excited for that. There you go. Oh god. I love the excitement that people are displaying in chat. I could, in theory, like, speed up his animations. I don't think he needs that, though. I'm not sure how I would go about doing that, to be honest. Yeah, so the Ghost Blade is good now. I also decreased Kalameet's resistances in general because they were insane, and he was the tankiest boss in the game by far. He still is, but he's a little bit more manageable, and also the Ghost Blade is insane. And also I have these active, and also I have Power Within, so it's like lots of damage going on. I like the Kalameet fight. But, and it is still the longest boss in the game, right? It's just not insanely long now, relative to other bosses. Especially if you're using, like, infusion damage that he's not particularly weak to or whatever. Okay, bad mod. Alright, fine, I'll double his health. The AR in vanilla is like 150 or 200 or something. It's now 399 with 2740. Nearly double damage off of scaling.
You sorry fool.
You fiery soul. Okay, not that one. This one. And for fun. For no other reason other than fun. For sure. Damage based on drop rarity? I disagree. I don't think that's a very good way to balance weapons. Just because at that point you're heavily encouraged to just grind enemies, which is really unfun. Plus, then you're getting the bonus of having extra souls anyway to be dealing more damage. Yeah, the Diablo mod is kind of that, which is a really fun mod. Very normal damage. Holy shit. That was so much more than I was expecting. I mean, very normal damage. Um, nothing weird going on, obviously. 2,641 in a row post is extremely normal. Nothing weird happening. Um, yeah, Dark Souls. I did add something to the kiln. I just don't remember what it was. What are you talking about, Krista? Nothing weird is going on. Not at all. Dead Souls. Isn't that a game? Queen on HOT and I plan on her plan. Same. Something like that would be possible. I'm not sure if it's possible to check inventory weight specifically, equipped inventory weight specifically. I'm sure it would be. I'm not sure how to do that though. Extremely difficult final boss upcoming. Gonna increase my damage by 40% real quick for fun. Oh my god. Yeah, very normal Gwyn damage. Oh shit. Everything's fine. Yeah, very balanced mod, as you can see. Yeah. I have made sure to make things as balanced as possible, including the new content. Uh, holy shit. Yeah. No, nothing about that is unbalanced at all. Lore accurate ghost blade. um Okay, so before I end the stream, uh there's something that I wanted to. Ghostblade can be buffed. It would be extremely easy to one-shot Gwyn, even without a buff on a lot of things. A lot of weapons could one-shot Gwyn using very specific things. Okay. So, before I end the stream, there was something that I wanted to do a little bit of modding on stream, just because I think that'd be fun, and get like feedback and ideas and stuff with this. Specifically, oh, I don't actually remember how to do starting class differences. Okay, so there was the Dust Crown ring that I needed to change in here. I don't actually know where that's at. Presumably in here. Oh wait, no, this is just a name, not the actual description, right? Where's Dust Crown? There's a whole search function that I'm just not using. Okay, but HP. Frog stream. this is not Dark. I mean, it's kind of Dark Souls, right? Bloodborne Smasher pass after. Just a Fire Resin would give one shot. Fire Resin is also buffed. It does 150 AR instead of 80 in vanilla, because I felt like that was better. There's something I wanted to change, wasn't there? I don't remember what though. Item lots. I assume starting classes are in here. Like if I search, it might not be on here actually. Oh wait, no, item lot. Would starting classes be in here? I'm not even sure what I would search for that. Oh, the Bardiche, that's right. That's really easy to change in here. Weapons. Scythe. Just a full stop in one of the tier starting descriptions. That's probably all of them then, because I did copy that. Okay, so the problem with renaming weapons, as you can see here, there are, see, where does it stop? There's Chaos Scythe up to Chaos Scythe +5. There's Fire Scythe up to Fire Scythe +10. There is Occult Scythe up to +5. There's Divine Scythe. There's Enchanted Scythe. There's Magic Scythe. There's Raw Scythe, Lightning Scythe, Crystal Scythe, and Scythe. And I would need to change every single one of these individually, I'm pretty sure. There might be a way to like mass edit these. I have no idea what it would be next replacement. Can I add these? I'm actually not sure how I would do. Additional, but would be Scythe. And replacement text, I assume, be Bardiche. And then preview. And it does change the Great Scythe. The problem. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would do that. And I don't want to do this individually. Your preview. I don't know. I'm sure I'll figure this out eventually. Can I not just like selected stored text will be added to the current text file? Okay, yeah, I don't know. Some of the rings of the start didn't work. Yeah, that's the sun goddess, the ring of the goddess of the sun, oops, and the ring of the princess of the moon were not functioning. And I did fix that, and that will be fixed as soon as I upload the next version of the mod. Let me do the accessories, the tearstone rings. Tearstone. Why are only red and blue here? Wait, what? Is this not the right one? It might be in here, but it should be. I'm confused. Okay, well, these are in here. Oh, spoilers. I forgot about that. Was it this full stop? No, that's not a full stop. Where would the Sonic background indeed? Change the size to Great Bardiche, but keep the regular size the same? That's genius. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Krista, where was the full stop in the description? Because all these do have the full stops in the correct position. Same as vanilla. Orange? Nope, these are correct. Change Twinkling Titanite to just Twinked It. That's genius. Wonder, did I search for this? What are the starting classes? What's the starting class? That doesn't have anything. What's it called? It's not wretch. Is it deprived? Okay, so it's not in here. I'm not actually sure where that would be. Maybe class deprived. Here we go. And then Plank Shield. Accessory. So I could say goods here. Oh wait, no, accessory. That would be ring, wouldn't it? That would be down here then. Goods. Hold item 1. So I just need to go into the equip param goods or something. Right here. And then find dragon torso stone, dragon headstone. Copy the ID. This part's really easy at least. And then where was it? Character initialization. I literally just had it. What the heck? Why am I blind? That keeps you as dragon even when you die. Just lock him as such. Maybe? I'm not I'm not sure that I would want to do that though, right? Okay. Held item. That is the torso stone. And then the force goods. The headstone. 377. That makes sense. And in theory, all I have to do is click save and then reinstall the mod and it should work. Mastered. So I have my Dark Souls remastered. I'll just like pin to the sidebar because it's way easier and I'm in here constantly. I should be just there. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm gonna skip and make sure that I have this script. That should be what I want, actually. I don't know why. Is it both of these? I might need to do both of these. That should fix the rings, in theory. Oh, that's not where I want to put that at all. I know what I'm doing, I swear. I've done this a lot. Replace. Okay, and now, in theory, when I open Dark Souls, the would Dragon look goofy with armor? Probably, because it would clip a lot, which is probably why they disabled it in the first place. On top of just like game balancing purposes. Oh, I could put music on. That's not a bad idea. Hold on. Let me find Souls of Mist real quick. Souls of Mist. Extended. And then I can turn this up real quick as well. Demon Souls music. You're not playing the game as Dragonform, then you're doing it wrong. That's true. I'm actually going to turn the game down just because I don't want the music to interfere. The wagon, :3. E. Deprived. Doesn't show there. I don't know if that means it's not going to work. I guess we'll find out. Gotta add a fancy title screen? That's true. That shouldn't be too hard. Excuse me, in theory. Okay, it is not there. And I don't have it. Okay, so now I just need to figure out how to do that. Why does that not work? Also, I should probably close my Discord. I don't think anything incriminating was on screen there, but... Guess you know what next playthrough will be? I love Dragonform. But I'm good. It shows up properly. So this just might not be the thing that I need to change. I'm not sure. Why didn't that work? I'm not sure where I would even, like, where else I could look for that, right? I would assume it was here. Are there any classes that start with things, actually? Start with goods. Yeah, they all start with black separation crystal, and maybe if I put it in higher... Wait, master key, why does that work? What am I doing differently then? That is a key item. There's a soul arrow, fireball, and heal. Wait, what are skills? Yeah, Explorer Dark Souls 2. Unfortunately, I don't have a Dark Souls 2 project open. Maybe this has dragon? I could try. It does. I could set these. 9500, 95, 951, 952, 953. Okay. I could try that. 9. 951. 952. 953. It's the game. Explorer is really cool. I think it's a really interesting class. I don't think it's the most fun class to play, but it is a really interesting class for sure. Don't don't worry about these character names. There's nothing going on with them. Swear. Josh Pearson is definitely not something I was doing for anything at all. Let me make sure this is saved, and then move things over in theory correctly. Nice. Open up the game. Theoretically, have Dragon Torso Stone and whatnot. Other human body parts being the same. That's true. I could have Dragon Arm Stone. Pear-shaped women. Yes, please. Okay. New game. Dragon? :3. That doesn't look good. But I mean, maybe. Megan Carl Partstone. Not quite. Huh. Okay. Yeah, modding isn't usually that easy, but it would have been cool if it did just work like that, right? I don't know. Not exactly sure how I'd go about doing this. I'm sure there's actually a tutorial somewhere just to modify starting class gear. Let me... Hopefully Discord opens on the correct screen and doesn't leak everything. If it'll open? Huh? Discord doesn't want me leaking anything on accident. What I was gonna do is go into the Dark Souls modding server. Where's my phone? And see if anyone had asked a question in there. It's not shame, it's that I don't think other people have exactly consented to me leaking their DMs. That's what I want to be careful of, not leaking my own things. For the most part. All the solar pellet secrets, yeah. Okay. Starting class in modding help. Okay. I'm trying to change the name of the starting class, but can't figure out where. Okay, so I'm not the only person trying to do this thing. Or do something similar. Guess I can add a filter. Hold on. I got this. In mod making. Okay. And starting. There's a tutorial in Elden Ring to add a new starting class, and I assume it would work pretty similarly here because of how similar they are. How do I add a custom picture? No. I don't know. That's just the Discord server? Yeah. That is. Discord server, link in the description. Maybe... Maybe there's another spot that they should be. Item count. Specified item in this slot. Oh no, not that. Part. What are the parts? Oh, bolt slot. Wait, hold on. Accessory is, I would assume, the rings. Why are there 5 accessory slots then? Do any of these classes use that? No. I don't know. Might be so... Yeah, that is the extremely rare drop from the baby carriers. It is very, very bad in vanilla. It is, in my opinion, the worst weapon. I did finish the playthrough, so you can go back in the stream and watch that. Right now, I'm attempting to add the torso stones, the dragon torso and headstone, to the thief class. But I have no idea how or what I'm doing. It might be because actually this is 0 in the item count rather than 1. So if I set this to 1, that might work. That could be the issue, and it could be as simple as that. That's probably the issue, actually. Let me move these over, install them on, save, and open the game. I'm almost positive that's what I was missing. Make a furry class? That's what I'm doing. I should probably put Steam in offline mode, actually. Hold on. Steam, go offline. Ah, whatever. Probably fine. Oh, wait, oops. New game. Wagon, exclamation point, :3. Oh, I forgot to change the armor pack. That's probably fine. Baldy McNoser. Indeed. An Eggman class. Ah, darn. That didn't work. I was hoping it'd be that easy. This will be in the mod, I promise, eventually. What did you come back to? Nothing crazy. There might be... Okay, hold on. If I compare this to the thief... Yeah, the master key's at 1. What is durability? Base durability. I have no idea what that is. Back in starter class. Yeah. Which means it's vanilla. That could be an issue. That could be it, yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, if I go to here, the goods, right? The master key is actually in this category, and that is the ID, which means this is the category that I would put it in, right? The issue is that it's not showing up, and I'm not sure why. And I figured it would be because of that, but I guess that's not the only change I need to make. I should set these back to defaults. Because... Wait, oops. Head. Right? Yeah, okay. There we go. Huh, I'm not sure exactly what I would need to change to get this to work, because I thought it would just be this, right? But clearly that's not it. Just pulled the deck out to search everything. This is not the Nexus soundtrack. This is the character creation soundtrack from Demon's Souls. The Nexus soundtrack is called Maiden in Black. This is the Souls of Mist, I think. I don't know. I'll figure this out, and I'll figure out the thing that I wanted to change from earlier, and also go through the tedious process of changing the name of the scythe to the Bardiche. Demon's Souls soundtrack is insanely good, and the remake made it so much worse, and it makes me so sad. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all. Thank you all for the different ideas for this mod. I think a lot of them will be really fun to implement. I don't know how to end this.